Hey there, my name is Jasmine Sky, and I'm here today with the second part of my Draft 5 revision vlog for my Witch YA novel. I will link the first part down below, and also the last couple revision vlogs for this novel if you are interested. But to sum up very quickly, I am currently working on another draft of the novel that got me my agent with my agent's approval. So we talked about it together, and we have a whole revision plan. It is a pretty hefty developmental revision. I am about halfway done with it. As of the end of the last vlog, I had about 41,000 words that I had revised through, which is how I'm tracking these revisions. I'm going by the number of words that I have worked through, which does include cutting and then putting new words in, but the word count of the point I'm at the novel, of the revision that I'm at, is what I'm tracking, if that makes sense, as well as the chapter that I am on, because I'm doing this revision mostly chronologically. I do sometimes flip between like 2 consecutive chapters, but I'm not really going too far down, or if I do think of something that needs to come later, I'm just making a quick note about it. I'm not doing the full scene. So I ended the last vlog at the end of chapter 9, like I said, just under halfway done because it's 21 chapters. So I think that means that halfway through chapter 10 is halfway, or maybe the end of chapter 10. Something like that. It is currently, Wednesday, December 30th, and I have until Sunday, January 10th to finish this revision. So I have time. I just have to keep the momentum up and keep on roll as I do this, and it's going well so far. I am currently on vacation from my work. I get this whole week off, so that is very, very helpful for me to be able to get a good footing with the second half of this book before I have to go back to work the last week of the revision. But anyway, I did the first half of chapter 10 this morning, which was just about 2,200 words approximately, to kind of tweak, and then I cut like half a scene and rewrote it because of the revision, so it worked out. It was good. Now the second half of chapter 10 is there's 2 more scenes in chapter 10. The first of those 2 scenes is gonna need a pretty major rewrite, and then the second or the last scene of chapter 10 should be pretty easy. So definitely gonna finish chapter 10 today. I have another writing session planned with my friend who I have been doing virtual writing sessions with. We're going to be writing for an hour before dinner tonight. So I'm going to finish chapter 10 then. It's late and I finished chapter 10, so that's good. I am now, let's go ahead and do the math and see, 46,043 words. The plan is to just continue this pace of a chapter a day as much as possible, and that's what we're gonna do. We still have 11 days left and 10 chapters to go. Hello, good morning, and happy 2021! I am so excited that we have made it through the year 2020, and here's to hoping that 2021 is not quite so unpredictable. So I ended up not writing yesterday, which is definitely not great, but I still have plenty of time with my new deadline, and I am planning on doing a ton of writing this weekend before I have to go back to work on Monday. Today is Friday the 1st, which is exciting, but I will be hanging out with family for a lot of today, so I don't have all day to write, but I am gonna write this morning. I think we're probably gonna go over right at or right after lunchtime today, but it's only 9:30 a.m. So I've got a solid like 2 to 3 hours to write. So that's what I'm gonna do. It is almost noon, and I did not actually do much writing. I think I wrote like 300 words, but that's because I spent an hour with my CP going over the next 5 chapters, and the layout of them because I kind of rearranged it a little bit, but I have a super strong vision for the rest of this book now, especially for the next 5 chapters. So for at least the rest of the second act, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm really excited about it. I think it's gonna be really strong and I'm happy. Now I just have to write it. So I do have to leave now, and I don't know if I'm gonna do any more writing tonight when I get back. It kind of depends on what time I get back. So if I do, you'll see. If I don't, you'll not see. But because I fell behind the last couple days, my plan for this weekend is to do a 10K weekend. I've done it before. I can do it again. This is my last weekend before I have to go back to work, and I don't have a ton of obligations this weekend. So I'm going to write a ton. Surprise! I did end up writing today, which feels really good. I didn't like the idea of falling behind so much, but I wrote the first half of chapter 11, which was almost a completely new scene. And by almost, I mean like I only kept the first 2 paragraphs and the rest of it was totally new. So that was a solid 2,000 words that I wrote today. And the last 2 scenes of chapter 11, which I will do tomorrow, are just tweaking. Hello there, friends. It's Saturday the 2nd, and it is just before dinner. I am gonna go make dinner and eat it. I am pretty hungry. Please ignore this mess. We haven't cleaned up from Christmas yet. We'll get on that at some point. I did not sleep well last night. I don't know what happened, but I just had the hardest time sleeping, and I was so exhausted when I woke up this morning, and I just felt like a mess. I did do a little bit of writing. I wrote for the last hour, which is the only writing I've done so far today. So my plan of writing all day on Saturday did not work out today. But I finished chapter 11, so that's good. And now I have chapter 12, which is gonna be a lot. I actually am pretty sure that I need to rearrange. I'm pretty sure what I have down for chapter 12 is gonna be way too long. So I'm gonna need to push some scenes down, but we'll figure it out. Hello, everyone. It's late on Sunday the 3rd, and I don't know what happened, but I just have had the hardest time sleeping the last couple of nights. I didn't sleep well again last night, and I was exhausted all day. Maybe it's stress from the revision. Maybe it's the fact that I know I have to go back to work tomorrow. Maybe it's just that time of the month. Who knows? Either way, I'm hoping that I actually sleep tonight because I really need to sleep well. And I did do some writing today. I didn't completely waste the day, but I didn't do as much as I would have liked to. I would say, about half a chapter. But yeah, I'm still only halfway through chapter 12. And I'll need to finish that tomorrow and preferably do chapter 13 tomorrow, question mark. I've got a lot to catch up on. I'm gonna have to really kick it into gear this next week. It is Monday the 4th, and I just finished with my lunch break, and I did successfully finish chapter 12. So what I should have done yesterday has now been done. That was about, it was 766 words of chapter 12. And then I wrote another 75 words in chapter 13. So, yeah, I'm gonna do my very, very best to write all of 13 today, which is gonna be a lot because this chapter is almost completely new. I'm trying to write. Oof. I wrote another 900 words just now post dinner, except it's not even post dinner. It's like almost 10 p.m. Which brings my daily word count to 1,509. I need to speed it up if I'm gonna make this deadline. I need to do some work, but I sat here this morning and tried to write. I got 57 words done, but I spent like more time than I should have last night as I was trying to fall asleep, just thinking about my book and like what it is that is feeling. It's just not feeling right now. And I was a little worried. I was like, is it something about the revision? Like, did I kind of misplot something or make a decision that wasn't good for what I want? But I actually think I've figured out this morning that the thing that is wrong is my character motivation. I changed my main character as kind of primary thrust, primary motivation for the novel and the plot in this revision. And it's a little split right now. There's kind of like two things that she is like worried about and that are her motivation, and that's a problem. I need to make it just one primary thing. So I think that actually what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop here in this halfway through chapter 13 scene, and I'm gonna go back to chapter 1, and I'm gonna reread chapters 1 through 12, and I'm gonna polish up specifically my main character's motivation. I already know, I think, what that needs to look like, and it's gonna just help me in this middle section of the novel with kind of the emotional beats I need to write if I have a much stronger, clearer picture of her motivation and what the readers know about it up to this point, and also how that affects the romantic arc with the love interest, because it does very much affect it, and I have an idea for how to kind of use what I'm gonna do with the motivation to more strongly affect the romantic arc. So that's what I need to do. I think I need to go back. I already was gonna need to go back and reread before I sent it off to my agent, just to do a little bit of polishing. So this way, by going back through the first half of the novel and rereading it, when I go back to reread again on Sunday, I don't have to reread the whole book. I can just start at chapter 13 and just reread just to polish. I think that's the best use of my time at lunch today, is doing that. It's now 9:30 p.m., but I am feeling good. I have a serious headache, but I'm feeling really good. Rereading the first 12 chapters of my book, I cleaned up my character's motivation. I fixed up a very crucial scene for the relationship that was kind of wishy-washy, and I like had a better way to kind of get the crux of what I wanted for that scene, and I am feeling so much better. I love this book. I had to remind myself that it's good and it's exciting and I love it, and yes, it's not everything that my tired, fatigued brain last night was trying to tell me it was, which was like awful and terrible and no one would ever want to read this. No, it's actually a good book. I was just fatigued and down on myself, and I just feel a lot better now. So today after dinner, I wrote like another 1,000-something words. My total word count for today is 2,051 words, but it was kind of scattered because part of it was in like polishing up the first 12 chapters, and then I also jumped ahead to like the last chapter of the book and did some stuff there because I cleaned up my character motivation, so then I had like ideas for the end of the character arc, and it all kind of got put on the page. So it was a lot of work on this book today, but unfortunately I'm still not done with chapter 13. I am like 500 words from being done with chapter 13. My plan is to finish that before I start working tomorrow. So hold me to it. I'm going to do that. And then at my lunch break, I'm going to Skype with my friend and critique partner again, as we've been doing, and start on chapter 14 and continue working on 14 after work tomorrow. And the plan is to finish 13 and 14 tomorrow. Oh, the other thing that happened today when I went back in and I did the polishing and I clarified the end of my character arc is I was talking with my critique partner and I realized I don't need 21 chapters. The previous draft was 21 chapters, but what I did in chapter 21, it actually would weaken the ending of the book. The better ending of the book with the ending of my main character's arc and the relationship arc and the stuff that needs to happen in this book actually comes at the end of chapter 20. So I went ahead and just cut chapter 21, which feels good. Like it's exciting because it means I have one less chapter to do for this revision. My total word count goal is gonna be closer to like 92,000 now instead of like 95 to 96,000, which is great. And yeah, it means that I am even closer to the end. So definitely intended to write today around my work day, but it's Wednesday the 6th and there is a coup attempt happening in our Capitol building right now. They just found an IED. That's great. Okay, I'm gonna go try to get off Twitter for a little while and get some actual work done. But I do still need to finish both chapter 13 and hopefully potentially write most of, if not all of, chapter 14 tonight. So writing today was a struggle, but I managed to finally finish chapter 13. It ended up being a long chapter. I think this is my longest chapter yet, though chapter 12 was also quite long. But yes, it's even longer than chapter 12. But it's done. I'm happy. It took me 1,679 words to finish the chapter. I can move on to chapter 14. So I was gonna like do some reading before bed, but I started to get really like anxious about how much I had left to do and how few days I had left to do it. And I ended up coming back to my book, and I actually got through the entire first half of chapter 14. It's like 2,300 words. So yeah, that's really exciting. Hello, it's Thursday the 7th, and I am done with work for the day, and I just finished chapter 14, which is very exciting. It ended up being another long chapter. Man, these middle chapters are just a bit more extensive. I've got a lot to get done. The scenes are longer, but that's okay. They worked out, and I'm really happy with the changes to 14, and where the chapter ended feels really good and solid. And now I'm gonna move on to chapter 15 after dinner tonight. Well, it's post dinner now, and I decided to go ahead and take a shower before I am gonna Skype, but I need to brush my hair now, and Thor really wanted to come out, so he's kind of distracting me and not letting me brush my hair. I should probably go put him back in his enclosure and actually brush my hair before my friend calls me so that we can get ready done. Oh no, don't go down my shirt. Thanks, Thor. Okay, that's my not at all writing related. update. Well, it's quite late, but that was very successful. I did finish chapter 15, which was good. It did take me like 2.5 hours, but it flowed really well and I'm feeling good. So my total revised word count is right now at 70,953. So basically 71,000 words. And yeah, I've got a little over 20,000 left and 3 days to do it. But we'll make it work. Good morning, afternoon. It's the afternoon. Good afternoon. It's Friday the 8th and it's like 1 o'clock. Just finished my lunch break, but I had a very productive morning/lunch break. I wrote for like 45 minutes this morning and 40 minutes over lunch, and I got 2,111 words written in that like hour and a half. So it flowed really, really well. I did make myself physically sick with the first scene I wrote of this chapter. It's not a pretty scene at all. It's definitely the darkest scene in this novel. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give people trigger warnings, I think, on like my website or on Goodreads if this book one day comes out, which I hope it will. Of course, it's entirely possible in revisions that I end up toning it down a little bit because this is YA. But I mean, The Hunger Games was pretty dark too. There are YA books that get pretty dark. It's anyway, that's what's going on. So yeah, I will need to write the second half of this chapter tonight, but I need to go back to work. It's quite late, but I did it. I finished chapter 16. Yes, I am feeling good. I had to talk it out. I spent like half an hour talking out the second half of this chapter with my critique partner because I just like didn't. Not the second half of this chapter and the next chapter because like I just didn't really have a good, clear picture of what needed to happen. It was pretty vague, but we talked it out, and then I wrote this rest of this chapter, and it feels so good. Like it became that moment, that catharsis moment in my story. It feels really good. I hope it's as good as it feels like high off of writing it. It's probably really messy, I don't know. So we're on to the final stretch. Tomorrow when I wake up, I'm gonna have to get right to work. I have to do 2 chapters tomorrow and 2 chapters on Sunday. It's gonna be a lot. I am here at my parents' place. This is Merlin. Hi, Merlin. Mwah. And you might notice that I dyed my hair this morning because I wanted to try something new. New year, new me or something. But we came here pretty early today so my brother could play games with my family, but I opted out of the board gaming today because I had so much writing to do. Don't eat my hair. Huh? Does it smell good? It smells like hair dye. I ended up writing on my dad's computer for the last like however many hours it's been, like 4 hours, and I finished chapter 17. So yay! I'm very, very excited. I still need to do chapter 18 before the end of the night, but we're gonna go have dinner and then head home, and I will do chapter 18 at home. That's the plan. I really love heading over to my dad's place because there's a lot of horses and horse-related stuff in my book, so it's very inspiring to help out with my parents' horses. Several times today while I was writing, I came out here to let the dogs out and pet some horses and get that inspiration going. So anyway, I'm pretty hyped up on my success of finishing chapter 17. Okay, well, it's 10:30. That was a struggle. I'm just, I wrote for something like 7 hours today, but I only got about 7,500, 8,000 words done, which is, for me, on the low end. Like, 1,000 words an hour is low for me. I should be able to do 1,000 words in 30 to 45 minutes if I'm really flowing. And if I had been really flowing, I would have finished, but as it is, I am sitting at 3,220 words of chapter 18, and I'm gonna stop there. I have gotten to the final part of chapter 18. I only need like another 800 words, so it's not that much that's left, but this section leads directly into chapter 19, and I need to figure out what exactly I'm doing. Like, there's some world building stuff that I need to kind of sit on for a second and like figure out. So I'm just too tired to do that tonight. Or if I did try to do it tonight, it would be a very bland version of what it could be if I came at it fresh. So I'm gonna go to bed early and therefore hopefully wake up early. And after I have breakfast, I'm gonna get to work. Good morning. It is Sunday, January 10th, and it's snowing, which is like bizarre for Austin. We don't usually get snow, but it's a great day to stay inside and be writing all day, right? It is just after lunch. I did finish 18 and I am now halfway through chapter 19. I'm gonna finish 19 now. It's only 12:30, so I still have plenty of time in the day, and I am feeling like, you know, pretty energized because I'm almost done. I'm almost at the end. I'm in the meat of it, and it's a lot. It's exciting. And oh my gosh, the snow is coming down. Hold on, I gotta show you guys. Look at that. Can you guys see that? That is very unusual. This is a very, oh my gosh, it's getting onto my balcony. Look at that. That's pretty intense. It might not look like a lot to those of you who live up north, but here in Austin, we don't get snow, like, ever. And if you're up in more North Texas, then you do get snow, and they're getting, from what I hear, like, over a foot today. This winter storm is going across like the entirety of Texas, and it's pretty intense, but it is hitting us here in Austin. The edge of it is hitting us here in Austin, and yeah, it's a lot. It's very exciting. So anyway, focusing, gotta write. It's 2:30, and I finally finished chapter 19. I pushed through. I got it written. I think I'm just gonna get up and stretch, get the blood flowing again, and then get back to it. I finished my revision! I'm so excited. That was so much work. It was so much work. Oh my gosh. I rewrote so much of that book. I still need to export the file into Word and do a quick spell check and, you know, make sure those last couple chapters are all good, but I am so happy. I'm so happy with this revision. I'm so happy with like everything. I'm so happy I got it done. Yeah, I put a lot of thought into it, and it's definitely a better book now. It's a different book, honestly. I mean, this was a huge developmental revision, like the biggest developmental revision of any of my drafts. But it's better for it, and sometimes you just gotta put the work in to get the best results. So that's what I did. That's what you guys saw me do. And you know, there were some slower days and there were some kind of long days like this weekend, but we got it done in the end, and that's what counts. So the total word count is 92,947 words. As always, thank you guys so very much for watching. There are links in my description to causes that need your support. I would really, really appreciate you checking those out and giving your support. You can also support my channel by liking this video, subscribing, etc. And I look forward to chatting with y'all in the comments.